Hello everyone and welcome to day 26 where we're going to do some techniques with watercolour. As you can see, I have all kinds on my desk. So we're going to get started with some things that take a bit longer to dry first. So as you can see here, some examples of things that we're going to try today with textures for backgrounds. This can be used for card making, any kind of crafting, and as well as in your colouring books. So we're going to do clouds, alcohol, salt, plastic bag, tracing paper, white crayon and water. This is just a few, there's a lot. And I'm also going to do some straw techniques in my cute and creepy book. So we shall do the ones that take a while first. So let's just go on to here. I've got my salt ready. So we've got some 80% alcohol. If I add more, it would be better to have 100% alcohol, but I haven't got any. I wanted to use things I had in the house. So with loads of this with the present climate, so it's probably quite a dandy thing to use. So that's the alcohol I'll be using. Does the same effect. Some sea salt, plain old water, plain old toilet roll, some tracing paper and white crayon, plastic bag, what you get from the shops, a straw, what you get because we're not allowed plastic ones anymore. And then is that everything? I think that's everything. My watercolour papers, which is the rowney. Yeah, rowney watercolours, the travel set. So we're going to get on with it. So we're going to do with the salt first, purely because that takes quite a bit to dry, and I believe from research that I have done, you're better using a darker colour. So I'm going to get this navy blue and I'm going to go at the bottom here quite dark, mix these two together and dark at the bottom, and then go in lighter towards the top. I don't know how wet should be. This is the first time obviously that I've tried this. I have put it on watercolour paper, so I'm not too sure how it goes or how it's meant to go. So we'll see. So I'll just give it a good flash about like that. And then I've already given it a good crunch and put them into the top bit. And I'm just going to sprinkle it wherever it may fall. And then we're just going to leave it to dry off and see what we get with that. By the time we've done this, no doubt it will have dried, hopefully. And the plastic bag technique. So I want to do kind of like a rainbow effect with this one. So let's do, because I really like this technique. I come across this and I was like, oh, that works. So I just thought I'll just put bit of a plastic bag on there and see what happens. And it came out pretty cool actually. And then I'm going to go in with the dark green and just a simple kind of watercolour, and then I'm just going to get everything off the brush and get some clear water and just re-wet everything so it's quite wet, because you don't want it to dry off too much. It needs to be wet there. And quickly get your plastic bag, scrunch it a bit, and the more scrunchy it is, the better the look you get, and stick it down in all them areas. And then get a nice heavy box, I've got one here, and just stick it on, and we'll move it out the way for later. So that is the two. We'll just pop that up there on top of that, and then we'll put them on top of there as well, and that'll just dry off in the corner. Okay, so what else have we got? Bet I picked up both sheets there on that, haven't I? I am. I'm an absolute div. Just 1 second, let's see if I can slide it out without moving that other paper. Oh, there we go. So, clouds. Tissue paper. Now, I haven't tried this. Haven't practiced with it. So what I'm going to do before I do the paper, I'm going to pull off some squares. So we've got them ready. I don't know if I'll need that many, but that's what we'll do. And I'm going to give us a nice little mixture. I'm going to do a bit of blue. I'm not too bothered if we go outside of the lines. That's not my worrying aim here. So I just want to put some nice textures of blue within it. I need to get it quite wet as well. Now, if I'd have known this was this simple to do, to get a cloud to look like a cloud, I would have well done this in Colin Thompson. Or in the other one that I actually did the other week. The cloud technique I did with, oh, I think it was Inktense. So I'm just going to really wet that down now. So, because this stuff dries really quick, but also it's really warm in here anyway, so I'm going to just screw this up a little bit, and then we're just going to dab like that. That's kind of one. And I was just like, oh yeah, it really works. And I kind of like how the effect it gives. Much better than the cloud effect I had. Just try and move it around a little bit. And there you have it. Very simple effect of clouds. Really quick, really simple, really easy. So what I'm going to do with this one, this is alcohol. So this, honestly, this video will not be half as long as my normal ones. But there's quite a good few techniques in here, so it'll be a decent one. So I'm just going to wet this off, and I'm just going to get some yellow undertones here going on. So just pop that in the middle. Really wet the brush. And then clean that off. And then I want to come in with these reds. And I'm going to go over the top with the reds. Really mix them in. There we go. Just as simple as that. Nothing. So you could just work the edge a little bit. So for this technique to work, it does need to be quite wet. I'm just going to add a bit more of that red around the edges. I want it to kind of be darker around the edge because I love this technique. So just get some plain water now and give it a good rub over. I mean, many of these you might already know. That's quite wet now. It's not really drying up. And then we're going to get the alcohol. Obviously, if you are not an adult with this, please do not do this without an adult. It is alcohol at the end of the day. And I don't want any responsibility going amiss. So if you are not over the age of 18, please have the responsibility to have an adult with you. So I'm going to leave that at that. I think I might do some little splats about. There we go. And I love the effect it gives in that back bit as well. So now that's dried off a little bit, I'm just going to come in and try and get some more off. And really texture them up. where I want it quite a bit whiter. I'll pull some more of that up. I'm just going to come that up. I get that really dark bit up there, but it still looks a really good, effective look for clouds. Oh. And they also a neat little trick that I tried with this earlier on, and just see if it'll do it, is, so if I get a green and get most of this red off, and so I got this tealy green here, just quite a wet one, I'll do it in this one. Take the dripper off again. I just love what it does. And then let's get some blue in it. Mix that with blue. And ooh, I wasn't meant to drop that much, but so cool. It's like fireworks. It's moving the colour around with that on. It's just so cool. Now I'm just using the thing that we've got with it. I just love it. It's like graffiti in its finest. What other colour can we use? We used a green. Let's see what would happen if I dry this off and put a bit of yellow over the top of that one. Let's put some yellow in the middle of this one. Spread that bubble out. More alcohol. So much fun. I get dead excited over the littlest of things. Well, I nearly put that in the alcohol bottle. So let's drop some yellow here and see what happens when I put it in here. Oh, it just looks so cool. I could have endless fun with this. Endless fun. Let's have a bit more bright green over here, shall we? I'm just going for this fun, like, I don't even know what I'm going for, but I just think it looks cool. The more texture we get in it, the fun it becomes. And this is what it's all about. It's like creating things and seeing what happens. And we've all got alcohol spray. I did try the hand gel. It's a big no, and that's 80% alcohol as well. It's the gel, I think, doesn't allow it to do the same thing. It's the liquid that makes it happen. So let's get another blob of green going on here. Drop it in. And again, let's double drip it, see what happens. I just love it. So let me try it with some light blue. Put a bit of light blue on top. Have some light blue in this bit here. You can just keep making it spread out. The more you put on it, the cooler it looks. Dink. Dink. I just love it. I think it's fantastic. Could just sit and play all day. It's like a mini explosion everywhere. Okay, let's leave it at that before I end up making it like a coloured mess. But you can see what's happening there. You can make that pretty whichever way you wanted to. Okay, so let them dry over there. So next up, we've got all 4 of them done. I did salt one, didn't I? Yeah, it's over there. So tracing paper. So again with this, I'm just gonna add, what shall we do? We'll do a yellow. Let's do a yellow. Let me just wet the page a little bit. It's kind of like a wet on wet. We'll have a yellow going into an orange, going into a darker reddy orange. Okay, and kind of want it. Let's do this reddy pink. We kind of want it to stay as wet as possible. Don't want it to go. So put some more colour in the top. More orange. The more it mixes, the better. That's still quite wet, so I'm hoping this works. And then we just push the tracing paper on. I need something to hold it down. Let me just put this on it. I'll put that on it. It rolls up, it's weird. I'm just hoping it stays on. I'm not sure if that's a flat bottom or not. Let's move that up out of the way. Let's hope that works, because it works with other things, but I've kind of used that to do the other one. So let's just do the water splats on this one. So on here. We'll just kind of do the red. We'll go in with a lovely red. Just the nice, lovely water techniques on here. And then we're just going to get the same thing, and I'm not going to spray it, I'm just going to drop it on. Loads of us probably know these. And this is what annoys me with this watercolour paper, because it's buckling. I don't want it to buckle. No, just add in plain water. This is, I've put slightly warm water in. Whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know. It's just a nice technique to use. I think that's where it's kind of It's very similar to what you get with the alcohol one. So we'll just leave that to dry. That's just water that's kind of pooled in the middle. Some little drops are in there. And then lastly, we've got white crayon. So with the white crayon, I'm just going to put this nice, like a nice whimsical, this is really old school, all this. I can't really see what design I'm making. Kind of hoping it looks alright. Kind of leaf shapes. Can't really see, I'm kind of like going off the edge. So I'm going to do a circle here, there and everywhere. And then we'll have at the bottom and then what colour should we have this one? Let's go green. So a nice colour mixture of green on here. Let's give it that nice little brush stroke. I think this is probably the oldest trick in the book. We all know what it's like to do the crayon, but why not? You can always use this as well as a barrier in a book and it won't cross it if you put it on thick enough. Or it shouldn't do anyway, is the right word for it. So that is another technique. Now my last technique, I just need to go and get the book, so just bear with me a second while I do that. Add some more water droplets for the water one as it dries. I'm going to make some more. Bear with me a second, you might just go and get that book. So I wanted for the last technique to bring my cutie creeper back in from when I did the graffiti, and this is why I didn't do this part of it at the time, because I wanted it for this bit. What I'm going to do is flatten this page out a little bit. Kind of break the spines on these books and they still go back to the way they were. Okay, okay. And then for this, we're just going to put, I'm going to go with a green for this one. Oh, my puff have only gone downstairs. So quite wet, or really wet. And I want just want a blob. Now this is not watercolour paper. It does take water media quite well. We'll just get our straw. Simple and easy. Everyone probably knows what I'm going to do. And then add a bit more green. Into the middle spot again. More water this time. Okay. And I'm not bothered if it goes over the animals, or the bats, should I say. It's cool. So I'm going to do a blue spot kind of just in front of it. I'm going to go turn it this way. And re-blob it again, kind of getting it to mix. That's how I want it to go. So we've got like real spray paint effects going on. Let's get some orange going here. Oops. I have to do two here. Just take it off the lettering there. That looks... I absolutely love it. I just love playing. So let's get some nice yellow going on here. Where can we have yellow? Let's have it going on here. Quite a dirty looking yellow. Move my boot up because I don't want to get my head in the way. Could always make these look like flowers as well. So let's get some this deep purple going on here. We've got some purple here. I'm just going to blob purple there. That was gone really watery. It's not going to stick as I wanted. So let's just do that again here. So cool. And let's mix that with some blue. of the blue here. Let's get some water on it. It's so much fun. It's just like being back at school. I mean, what art should be. Let's see, we can have some red, I think. There's some red at the bottom here. Have a nice red one. Should have had some nice red one here as well. Let's put that red there. At this point, I really don't mind that it goes over the stuff that we've got. That's fine. I just think it kind of gives it that crazy splattered effect. You can always do smaller ones. So let's do a little stem. As though we've got, where can we do this? Let's do a little flower leaf there. Nice little leaf on it. Nice little leaf here. Do a nice little red flower. We'll put that at the top. Get the water going. Okay, and then we just go and then put a nice bit of red in. Okay, this is being a fail. Let's break mold. It keeps going up there. I want it to go up there. That's the effect I'm going for. Kind of like a bit of a little graffiti art flower. And then just maybe a bit of purple in the middle. I'll just got that. There we go. So that is the watercolour blowing technique, where you can add graffiti, splats like spray paint. You can even try, I mean, wasn't wanting that go all the way up there then. Let's see if I can try a red one. And I just want to try and explode it. Let's try it over here. If I was right above it. Put that into shot. So I've got my bent side of the straw. There we go. That's what I was after. Straight over the top. So let's do a few more of them. We'll have a yellow one. Where can we have a yellow one? Oh, maybe we have it there because it's just dropped on there. Let me turn it that way because I don't want that going on over me. There we go. I'll just wipe that up a bit. Just one quick swift puff down the straw. What colour was we going for now? Let's do one here. There we go. That's kind of the effect that we're after. Nice messy splat everywhere that's just made that page look even more like a proper down and dirty graffiti wet paint effect with a lovely metal straw. So let's have a look at the ones that we've got that should be dry now. It's so much fun to do stuff like that. So let's see how they're turning out. We've all seen how them ones have turned out, so I'm just going to put that to dry over there. So as you can see, that one was our patterned one. Let me just take the brightness down a bit because that is really bright. Just look at this brightness. Okay, I'm just going to turn the light down. It's either too much light or not enough. That's a bit better. So as you can see there, we've got this nice little pattern texture, and then we've got our water texture. So all it's done, instead of it being a thick blanket, it's given us this nice wash for a whimsical type of background. You could probably add a bit more colour on top of that. That one is our cloud and alcohol. Now this has probably gone a bit far on here, but if I bring it up close, can you see these spiraled effects that you get in? So just to use that raw without adding all that colour on, that would have looked really effective as well. Like more like a bokeh, if you wanted to try and get a bokeh look with your watercolour. We've got going on in these. Let's hope these have dried off. So let's get the salt off. Let's drop the salt onto the back of the come. I mean, I probably would have left it a bit longer to dry. There's still some big clumps of salt on there. But I love that broken effect that you get. So that probably still keep working, but there's a gorgeous like crackled effect going on there. Can you see that? So probably quite a lot of people know about the salt. Probably can do it better than me, but that's the first time I've used it, so maybe we'll get there with that. These are my favourites. Look at the effect that gives. That is one of my favourites, and it just let it dry into that bag, and that's the effect. You can also get it with the tracing paper, which I've got, which I'll show you next. Hopefully this has worked, because I wasn't so sure how it might worked. This is, I try and get like a leopard print, so we peel it off. It's alright ish, but I got a better effect on my trial piece earlier on, which was here. Got more of a broken effect. That'd be good for like a sand effect. Is that the last one? Do we have any more? I had 3 of them and 2 of them. No, that's everything. So that's your tracing paper, plastic bag, salt, clouds with tissue paper, and that's alcohol. There's so many things you can do with that. And then water and simple white crayon. And another good tip for the white crayon is you could use it as like a barrier. So if you wanted to just do the centre and put the white crayon around the barrier of say a circle, and you had a wreath and you wanted to just do the middle, just put the white crayon on around there, and that should give you a nice barrier. I mean, this is on watercolour paper, but if I was to get that crayon really smooth, then that would give me a nice barrier, so I'm not having to use masking fluid. So that's a good suggestion. So be it that I'm not no professional and this is the first time I've used some of these techniques, I do think some of them are very creative, especially for card making and things like that. The clouds I really love because I struggle to get that with a brush, so that's really good. And this I think is my favourite all time. Absolute, definitely using this again, favourite. So everybody, that is day 26. I hope you're able to get some of these techniques and use them in your crafting, card making, colouring books, whatever it is, stamping, where you want to use them, use these techniques, and hopefully they will look amazing in your pages as well. So thank you very much everyone, and I will see you all on day 27. Bye everyone.